Hallelujah. Barushemeka, Baruchamaneka, Baruturateka, Baruketushateka, El Shaddai Melech, El Shaddai Malak, El Shaddai Elo, Olam Hae, Barusheka Makuto, Olam Hae, Barukabo, Himo, Lekedom, Anamu, Olam Hae. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great mighty revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, who by no means clear the guilty, visiting iniquities of fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations. The Most High's work is perfect for all his ways of justice. A God of faithfulness and God of iniquity, just and right and see. You may be seated. Give due respect and honor to a head of Israel, my father, Chief Eleazar, to the chief men, princes, mother in Israel. I say unto you the tongue of my forefathers. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We read this book, and we are not acquiring the ways of our forefathers. We read this book, but we are not taking heed to the ways and the customs of our fathers and mothers. We continue to claim that we are pursuing righteousness, but we have a hedonistic mentality. And because of this hedonistic mentality, you won't pursue God 100%. You will not pursue God 100% by pursuing his laws and his ways. There's levels. There's levels. He who dwelleth between the cherubs has set those levels. That's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Who's on top? God. Who's after God? The husband. Then after the husband, then come the wife. After the wife, then come the children. But we seem not to know our place. Tell me about it, brother. I said we seem that we don't know our place. We all got a place that we need to remain in. When you jump out of your place, that's when the friction begins. Anytime we jump out of our place with God, that's when the friction begins. Anytime a woman jumps out of her place with her husband, that's where the friction begins. Anytime the children jump out of place with their parents, that's where the friction begins. We're going to learn what sin is. We're going to learn, get Leviticus 5 off that paper. I have paper over there that says Leviticus 5. We're going to go into Leviticus 5. And we're going to learn and understand what is iniquity. Got it? Time sheet.
Leviticus chapter 5. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing.
And if a soul sin, if a soul transgress, if a soul sin, what is sin? The Hebrew word for sin is kata. Kata means to incur guilt upon. The only thing you can say is iniquity if God said it's iniquity.
That's all.
If God ain't said and clarified this as iniquity, then you can't tell me that's iniquity. We have a problem that we like to add on to what God did not say. God never said this was sin. God never said that was good. God never said that was evil. To incur guilt upon. It also means moral evil. To incur the displeasure of God. To incur is to become subject to some kind of consequences as a result of one's own actions. So anytime we violate a law or a commandment inside this book, you need to look for consequences. If there is no consequences from your violation, now I have to beware and watch and be on point of myself. I have to watch myself because that's only telling me one thing, that God is not too fond with me because he's allowing me to do things that is contrary to this book and nothing happened. Sin includes a failure to do what is right. Sin includes a failure to do what is right according to the laws of God. Not only the laws of God, but the ways of God. The ways of these godly men and these godly women that has acquired and attracted the attention of God, all because of their ways. How they ordered themselves, how they moved, how they act, everything about them was godly. He said, but we can also sin by offending people according to the laws of God. That's another way you can transgress, by being offensive or by offending people, right? According to the laws of God. It is violence and lovelessness towards other people and ultimately rebellion against God.
Ultimately.
Sin corrupts the heart. Sin corrupts your mind and cause you inclined towards evil. Or inclined towards iniquity, towards doing things that is contrary from what God said, is because I'm doing something wrong. All right? Iniquity, our own. Iniquity is a Latin word combining the prefix and meaning not, and equus, which means equal or just. In the definition and the meaning of iniquity means not equal, not just. So basically, we have to be just and equal with each other. The day that we are not just and equal with each other, that's where sin creeps in. We have to be just with each other. We have to be equal with each other. We have to be fair with each other. And if we are not fair with each other, iniquity is able to creep in. Okay? It also means perversity, depravity. Depravity means innate. Innate means something that exists within. Huh? Innate corruption, which means we all have corruption in us. Because we have corruption in us, It says innate corruption of human nature because or due to the original sin. We have inborn corruption in us. You know what inborn corruption is? Inborn corruption causes you to get out of your place naturally and think you're doing something right by coming out of your place.
Right.
We think we don't have. When you come out of your place with God, you have corruption in you. When you come out of your place with your husband, you have corruption in you. When you come out of your place with your parents, you have corruption in you. But you ain't know that. Because a lot of people think they could come up in their teacher's face. You think you're going to come up in your... Listen, man, stay in your ground. Stay in your ground. This is why it can't be no order. You know why it's no order? Because we have corruption in us. If you ain't had corruption in you, then you will hearken to the order. Hearken to the officers. Hearken to your parents. Hearken to your guide. Hearken to your teacher. Hey, God will put the teachers in the same bracket as your parents. So if you watch your mouth with your parents, you need to watch your mouth with your teacher. Forget about husband. I'm your teacher. I'm your guide. Forget about parents. So if you can't tell your parents or your father that he's rebellious, that he's wicked, that he's this or she's this, then what makes you think you can tell your teacher that? You know why? Read Exodus 22, where God speaks about people that curse and revile the teachers. Moral corruption. Moral corruption means what? Doing something regardless of it being right or wrong, according to the laws of God for your own benefit. Doesn't matter. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to do what I want to do, whether it's right or wrong. Whether it's right or wrong. Huh? What is perversity? Perversity is contrary, opposite to the accepted standards of God. These fools talk about let's get together and we can come up with a standard. God already got the standard already set. Right. But this is what happens when you have fools want to reiterate and talk about. I said, God already had the standard set. You can't come up with your own standard. He said, don't eat blood. Don't eat blood. There's no standards to come up with that. I said, there's no standards to come up with that. God already set the standards. So now we think, or you feel, that you can come up with your own standards. Huh? What King David said. Psalms 26. He said, I shall not dwell with the wicked. You think King David was talking about the nations? No. I said, you think King David was talking about the Canaanites and the Perizzites and all those strange nations? You know who he was talking about? His own people. Right. I said his own people. King David said that about his own people. The prophet Samuel recognized, the prophet Samuel recognized that King Saul was being rejected by God, and he separated himself. There is nothing that you could tell me to go and walk with King Saul. There was nothing you could have told Samuel. Not me. I ain't walking with him. He stayed away from King Saul. That was the last time he seen him. He stepped off from him. Because God done put an evil spirit upon the king. Why? Because he didn't hearken to the command. All because he didn't hearken to the command of God. So because he didn't follow the order, God put an evil spirit upon him. And it rode him until the day of his death.
Yeah.
He was cut off from conversation.
Yeah, no communication.
There was no communication. And he got desperate. He got aggy. You know why? Because these people relied on God. And when God didn't answer them and give them an answer, their world was turned out of place. Just look and realize how Cain reacted. I'm not mad and I ain't got nothing to say about Cain.
You neither.
Like a child, when he's trying to talk to his parents and his parents ignore him and you don't feel a way, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you.
When that don't bother you, there's something wrong with you. When you can stay away and not conversate or talk with your parents because you want to, because you angry, because you got a problem, that tells me something about you, not the parents. I said the honor and the glory is due. That's what God said. God did not make no separation or no in-between or come up with no standards. If the parent is doing this, you can stay away. If the parent is, God ain't said none of that. No stipulations. There is no stipulations when honor is due. Just give it up and stay in your lane. But we keep jumping out of place. I said, we don't know our place with God. So because you don't know your place with God, you ain't going to know your place with your parents. Because you don't know your place with God, you ain't going to know your place when dealing with your husband. Because you don't know your place with God, you ain't going to know your place when we're dealing with each other. You got a place and I got a place. Therefore, I'm going to watch how I deal with you and what I say to you. And you're going to do the vice versa. Moral corruption means doing something regardless of it being right or wrong, according to the laws of God for your own benefit. Perversity is what? Contrary to accepted standards of God. Being deliberate. Desire to behave in an unreasonable or unacceptable way. Huh? It's not accepted. Huh? Being deliberately contrary, doing the opposite of what God expects or require of thee. Perversion is a form of human behavior. That's what perversion is. Perversion is a form of human behavior which deviates from what is right by God. That person deviates and turns away from that which is right by God. So now you become a pervert, right? And a pervert is what? Contrary. A person that is perverted, he goes contrary, not only against God, against the standards, against the morals, against everything, against the right thing. You become a pervert. You become contrary against anything that is right. Tom C., what verse we at?
Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
No, not verse 1, verse 2. Is it verse 2? You sure? Verse 1, all right, go ahead, read.
And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. If you don't honor it, then I bear the iniquity. Which means anything I hear or see, I can't hide. Because if I hide it or conceal it, then I'm just like you. We the same. It said, like minds attract. Water seeks its level. Birds of a feather flock together. Hey, you hear that, man? I said, like spirits attract. What do I mean by like spirits attract? Like spirits attract. If I agree with the same thing you agree with, of course I'm going to attract to you. But that's why I stay lebado. That's why I stay alone. You know why? Because my spirit is not attracted to yours. I don't like the same thing you like. I don't agree with
everything you agree with. Huh? I don't disagree with everything you disagree with. So you gonna tell me ain't no separation amongst ourselves? We've been talking this unity BS for how long? Dudes come in and out with God and want to tell them that, yo, man, these man them don't know their place. I said, people don't know their place, man. Let's read.
Or if a soul touch any unclean thing.
If a soul touch any unclean thing.
Whether it be a carcass of an unclean
Whether it be the carcass of a who?
Unclean beast.
Of an unclean cat, a unclean beast.
Or carcass of unclean cattle.
Or carcass of an unclean cattle.
Or the carcass of unclean creeping
Or the carcass of an unclean creeping thing.
And if it be hidden from him.
And if it be hidden from him, which means he did not know.
He didn't know.
We did not eat meat knowing that it died of itself.
Sure.
I said we didn't eat meat that died of itself.
Sure.
If the meat died of itself, they didn't eat it.
They knew.
Ezekiel said when God told the prophet Ezekiel to eat, when God told the prophet Ezekiel to eat, make bread with dung, right? You know what he told God? I have not defiled myself with nothing that died of itself. That means when I know that this animal died of itself and I still eat it, I'm defiled. Why would you take those chances? I said, why do we take chances of being defiled by God? Now, and then say, you knew that's presumptuous.
Yeah.
How can I get rid of this defilement? Huh? I'm defiled. Only God knows how long my spirit will be defiled. This defiled, this thing here that's called defiled, that's not the flesh. You know what becomes defiled? The spirit becomes defiled by God. I say your spirit becomes defiled by God. And only God knows what you got to do to remove that defilement.
You have to remove it. Don't go on his own.
Let's read.
Verse 2. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing.
Or if a soul touch any unclean thing.
Whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping thing. And if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean.
And if it be hidden from him, he shall be unclean and guilty. The Hebrew word for guilty is asham. You know what asham means? Asham means culpable of. Culpable of, or to be culpable of, it means deserving blame. When you are blamed, it's only godliness to recognize your fault with God. Culpable of or responsible for a specified wrongdoing. So when you're guilty, let's read.
Verse 3. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man.
Or if he touch the uncleanness of man.
Whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal.
It said, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled. It said, if he touch the uncleanness of man. Go ahead. Whatsoever, read that over. If he touch the uncleanness of man.
Whatsoever uncleanness it be.
Which means, when the seed of copulation leave a man, what happened? You become unclean. I say you become unclean. If you touch the uncleanness of man, time sheet.
Whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him.
And he be hid from him.
When he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty.
Then he shall be guilty. A lot of people say, oh, you're not unclean if you touch a man who see the copulation. So what are you guilty from then? I said, what are you guilty from then? I tell you, a lot of people don't need to be teaching the laws of God. I said, people don't need to be up here teaching because we like to add on and take away to benefit ourselves. I said, we add on and we take away from the word of God to benefit ourselves. Okay? I said we add on and we take away from what God says to benefit ourselves because we don't agree with it. We don't agree with it. Go ahead.
Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, then a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. 4.
Then he shall be guilty. Read.
Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil,
or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil,
or to do good.
Or to do good. You done swore to do something that wasn't right.
Okay.
You done swore, all right, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or good. Read.
Whatsoever it be, that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these.
Then he shall be guilty. Why are you guilty? Because you didn't go through with what you swore.
You swore.
You didn't go through with that oath, whether it's evil or good. Go ahead.
And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing.
Then he shall confess. In what? That he has sinned in that thing. In order to confess, you have to acknowledge your fault. You're not going to confess, you're not going to admit your fault if you don't acknowledge that you was wrong. And you can't make repairs if you can't acknowledge that you was wrong. You can't become better if you are not able to acknowledge you was wrong. Tom Sheep.
Verse 6. And he shall bring his trespass offering.
And he shall bring his guilt offering. Asham. His guilt offering.
Unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord.
For his sin, which he has sinned. A female from the flock, a lamb or kid of the goats, or a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin.
There is no priest to make no atonement.
You just stuck with that.
I said there is no priest today to make no atonement. When Yom Kippur come around, there is no priest to make no atonement of iniquity. You know who got to make that atonement? You. I got to make my own atonement. You know how you make your own atonement? By stop. Don't repeat the same things that offended God. Stop offending God. Stop sinning presumptuously. When you stop sinning presumptuously, now I can make some type of atonement. I can make some type of repairs with myself because I stopped. I'm not that same person who I was last year, months before. Tom Sheep.
And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin, which he has sinned. A female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he had committed two turtle doves and 2 young pigeons unto the Lord. One for a sin offering,
one for a sin offering,
the other for a burnt offering.
And the other for a burnt offering.
And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, or shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar. And the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering according to the manner. And the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves, verse 11. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sins shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereof, for it is a sin offering.
This is a sin offering.
Then he shall bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. Verse 13. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin, that he has sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnant shall be the priest as a meat offering. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance in the holy things.
The Hebrew word for ignorance is shagah. Shagah means through error. When you sin through error, you didn't know. I said, when you sin through error, it means that I was not aware of my violation.
That's a mistake.
That's a mistake. Okay, go ahead.
If a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks without estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends for the harm that he had done in the holy thing, and he shall add the fifth part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering.
You will only feel guilt. Let me explain what it means to feel guilt. When you are feeling guilt, those are feelings. Stirred up feelings of regret. I regret that I did this. Okay? And when you are in a regretful mindset, okay, when you are in a remorseful mindset, then and only then you would not repeat that same thing what you did because you regret that you did it. All right? Responsibility of what you have done wrong. It's a self-conscious emotion. That's what guilt is. Guilt is a self-conscious emotion. But most of us don't have guilt when we do wrong or we offend each other, when we offend God. See, when you have this self-conscious emotion by offending God, now you will live now because of that. You will tend to live through the rest of your days with a guilty conscience before God, with a repentant soul, with a repentant spirit that involves negative evaluation of yourself. Now, because I had this self-conscious emotion of guilt, I will, for the rest of my life, I will evaluate myself. Right. Looking for negatives.
Looking for garbage.
Looking for garbage.
That's right.
Looking for things that's in me that does not correlate with what God said.
There we go. It's no good.
I said, looking for things that is in me that doesn't correlate with what God says. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 17.
Tom C.
And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wist it not, yet he is guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock.
What verse you at?
18.
Tom sheet.
And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, without estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest.
Okay, go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 26. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 26. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock. You know, years and years and years. We, Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 in the Apocrypha, we started to bring up flocks with blemish. And we kept the whole flocks in the perfect for ourselves. And God didn't accept it. Huh? It says, with that, it said, estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred and wist it not. There was even an atonement that the priest was able to do for a person that sinned through ignorance. We don't have that today. So when we sin through ignorance, guess what? We got to pack that.
Hold that down.
I said, we got to pack that. Now you see why we so distant away from God. We don't have a high priest to get rid of iniquity. And because of that, sin tends to bear you down. It weighs down on your spirit. Chief Mika. Ecclesiastes chapter 26.
Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife. For the number of his days.
Blessed is the man that had a virtuous wife. Stop calling yourself men of integrity if it's not according to the standards that God said.
That's right.
Stop calling yourself a good man if you're not according to what God said. Stop calling yourself woman of virtue if it's not according to the standards of God.
That's what makes it virtuous.
Read about the virtuous woman, what they did and didn't do. And if you want to be a virtuous woman, then follow what they did and what they didn't do. If you want to be a virtuous woman, then accept what they accept.
Okay.
Disagree with what they disagree with. Okay. If you want to be a man of integrity, then do what the men of integrity did that was in this book. What the man agreed with, what they didn't agree with, what they did and didn't do. Now you can call yourself a man of integrity.
Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be doubled.
Blessed is the man that had a virtuous wife, because he ain't gonna die early.
No stress, man.
There's no stress.
No pulling out here.
No headaches.
No arguments.
No arguments.
No disagreements.
No screaming. No disagreement.
That's what lays men out. Yeah. Lays everybody out. Yeah.
Go ahead.
A virtuous woman rejoicing on her husband.
A virtuous woman, her man gonna always rejoice. He gonna always be happy. He gonna walk around with a smile on his face. Go ahead.
And he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. A good wife is a good portion.
A good wife is a good portion. Again, a good wife accept what God accepts. If you don't accept all these laws in this book, and you have a problem with any one of these laws in this book, you're not a good wife. You're not a good wife. And that goes also with the men. If you're not a good, you can't call yourself a good man. Going against the oracles and the laws and the commandments of God. Go ahead.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear God. Go ahead.
Whether a man be rich or poor.
So apparently, a lot of us don't fear God. Because God give you according to how you is.
Right.
I say he's a just God. Right. So if you don't fear God, God ain't gonna give you no good woman.
That's right.
Huh? Because the good woman gonna get trampled on. Right. I said the good woman gonna get used and abused. Tom C.
Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
Whether what? Whether a man be rich or poor,
if he have a good heart
towards the Lord, if he have a good heart towards God,
he shall at all times rejoice.
He shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
The good and the bad.
You know why he's going to rejoice with a cheerful countenance? Because he accept. He accept. He accept the chastisement of God. And he accept the good. Whether he's rich or poor. He's going to accept the chastisement of God. I will not continue to complain because God made his choice to do this. I'm not going to continue to complain because God did this. And when you recognize and realize that God did it, you'll step down. You'll step down and leave it alone and say, you know what? God knew best. I'm not going to talk about this no more. I'm going to leave this alone. Time sheet.
There be three things that mine heart feareth.
There be three things that my heart feareth. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse what?
5.
Verse 5. Read.
There be three things that mine heart feareth.
There be three things that my heart feareth. There be three things that I'm afraid of.
And the fourth, I was sore afraid.
The fourth, I was so afraid.
The slander of a city.
The slander of a city. Ain't nothing like it. When a whole city is slandering you. Go ahead.
The gathering together of an unruly multitude.
The gathering together of an unruly multitude. Go ahead.
And a false accusation.
And a false accusation.
That's the worst.
Deuteronomy 22 says a person, he said, he hated her and falsely accused her. So when you falsely accuse someone, those are the actions of hatred. The book teaches you what word means. I said, when we read that book, the book teaches us what words mean. The things we do, what it means. The things we say, what it means. Tom Sheep.
All these are worse than death.
Tom Sheep.
Verse 6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman.
But a grief of heart.
Grief of heart.
And sorrow.
And sorrow.
Is a woman
that is
jealous over another woman. Woman ain't got no business being jealous. Jealousy is a manly trait. God get jealous. Man get jealous.
Deadly.
That's
jealous.
it. You know why? Because the only ones that are able to be jealous are the ones that are in possession, that can possess. He said when a man begetteth a wife, he begetteth a possession. And when you get this wife, your job is to take care of this woman. House this woman. Clothe this woman. Nurture and take care of this woman. She's my possession. She belongs to me. That's right. Tom Sheep.
And a scourge of the tongue was communicated with all. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro.
An evil wife is shaken, is a yoke shaken to and fro. You know what that yoke is? Being pulled every which way. You all over the place. Read.
He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
Tom Sheep.
A drunken man and a gatter abroad.
A drunken woman.
Drunken woman
and a gatter abroad. You know what a gatter abroad is? A woman that can't stay home. Always in the streets.
She outside.
We outside. Hey, child, I'm outside. We outside. I'm outside. Where that next bottle at, child? I'm outside.
That's a gatter.
Gatter, bro. Always in the street.
Always being heard.
Go ahead.
Causes great anger. And she will not cover her own shame.
She will not cover her own shame.
She don't care.
She will act and do however she wants, disregarding her virtue, her name,
reputation.
Her reputation.
Prestige.
Tom Sheep.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless.
If thy daughter be shameless.
Keep her in straight.
Keep her in. Keep her in. Go ahead.
Lest she abuse
herself.
Through overmuch living.
Lest she abuse herself, not knowing the importance of what she got. Virginity. Your virginity is everything. It's sacred. It's sacred, man. This is why when a man go into a virgin or marry a woman and she's a virgin, God said you got to pay out.
You got to pay up, man.
You got to pay out.
You don't get that free, man.
That payment only goes with virgins. If you ain't no virgins, ain't nothing I got to give up. What I'm paying for. A man already got it. He already took your virginity. He already took your value.
Value, what makes you valuable?
That's what makes you valuable. Your virginity. And we need to teach our young daughters how valuable their virginity is.
Tokens of virginity.
How valuable your virginity is. We don't teach our daughters that, man.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Where is the cloth?
Where's the tokens?
Where's the tokens of the damsel's virginities? Can a father step up with some tokens? God, please.
You gotta start this, man. You gotta start somewhere.
Virtue is not in the earth no more. Integrity is not here no more. Men disregard things like that.
Yeah.
Without the mindset of marrying the woman and will penetrate a virgin with no intentions of marrying her. That's why God look at the man and charge the man, because it's your job to uphold the laws and the commandments of God. Wait a minute, sister, you a virgin? You a what? A virgin? Sweetheart, you know how precious that virginity is? And when she skin up and want me to take it, I said, no. You become afraid. I was in that position before, man. A virgin wanted me to, I'm like, nah, you a virgin. And I knew I wasn't going to marry her.
Right.
I had nothing to take care of. I knew that. But I always had high regards for the laws and the commandments of God. I ain't penetrating you, man. I can't do that to you. I can't do it. Because I know the law. And I know the standards that God expects me to live by. Not my standards. And not your standards. The standards that the God of heaven and earth expects me to live by. So I will not penetrate you and take your virginity. I will not. Let's read.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 11. Watch over an impudent eye.
Watch over an impudent eye.
Watch.
Yo, okay? An impudent eye. Go ahead, keep reading.
And marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Marvel not, don't be. Yeah. Don't get all bent out of shape because she out of place, because she out of pocket. And that's what happened. We get.
That's why I said watch her.
Look, man. And that's what happened. Okay? All right, go ahead. Let's read.
She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain and drink of every water near her.
She accept everything. Huh? She accept everything.
She's green.
She accept everything. She allowed every quiver, every arrow. Go ahead.
By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow.
No good. No good. You got to have some type of virtue with yourself. Not allowing yourself to be a doorknob where every man can get a turn. Next time, Johnny gets a turn. Next thing, Daniel gets a turn. Next thing, Smitty gets a turn. That's, you know what I heard a comedian say?
Yeah.
You know what the comedian said? He said, I said, that woman was never yours. It was just your turn. It was just your turn.
You got before you.
And when your turn is gone, somebody else gets a turn. You can't say that about these godly women.
No, you can't.
Because regardless of the situation of the husband, they stayed.
Say that again?
I said, regardless of the situation of the husband, they stayed and they remained in their place.
It was right.
These, and it was a lot of situations. Manasseh, King Manasseh was one situation.
Okay.
I said, King Manasseh did worse than all kings. He did worse than Ahab. And guess what? What was the name of his wife?
Who did?
Did she correct him?
No, she never did.
I said, who did ever come out of her place and correct her husband?
No.
If you got something to say, you can say it with respect.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have to say
it. If you got something to say, you can say it with respect.
Right.
Don't say it like you corrected me, like you my mama. Because you're not my mama. And now, because of that, guess what? The mind gonna get defensive now. Now I don't want to hear nothing. The only one correct me is my mama. My father not here. My mama corrects me. Before my mama is God.
That's it. That's it.
You know who else can correct me too? My brothers can correct me. My uncle, anybody can correct me.
What about our uncles? Our uncles too. Right?
But you know what? It's a certain correction that is only accepted by your parents. Understand that. That's right. My parent could look at me and call my mother could call me right now and call me a name. Call me out my name.
Yeah.
And all I'm gonna do is hold my head down and say, yes, mama.
I might laugh at myself.
Yes, mama.
I might say, yeah, that's my name.
Remaining humble.
That's right. You're in agreement.
There's a correction that's what?
And it's not comely.
That's not calmly.
Watch it.
There's a chastisement that's not calmly.
Watch it. You can't talk to everybody like that. You'll get a different reaction.
You're going to get a different reaction. You're going to get an opposite reaction. Let's read.
Verse 13. The grace of a wife delighted her husband.
The grace of a wife delighted her husband. Give me the dictionary. We're going to go into these words because all these things explain. I got it. I'm sorry, brother. I'm very sorry. All these things explains the virtue of a woman.
What makes a woman virtuous?
What makes a woman virtuous? You have to have grace. Okay? So now, brother, I need you to look up the definition of grace. So we're going to take our time here, and I'm going to ride this stallion. And we're going to look up words so that we can learn what to do and what not to do. Let's read grace. You found it, brother?
I'm almost there. Grace. Got it. It's a lot here. Okay. Grace, first meaning. Pleasing.
Pleasing.
Grateful.
Grateful.
Unmerited divine assistance.
Okay. Courteous. I got here. Huh? Grace. What else is the definition of grace? Polite manners of behavior or behaving. Huh? Grace goes according to behavior and the way you act. Go ahead, read. What you got?
A pleasingly graceful appearance or effect on someone or somebody.
A pleasing what?
A pleasingly graceful appearance
or effect. Or effect.
Well, I'm giving out. Yeah.
Which means because you're a woman with grace, it will have an effect.
It will have an effect
on other women. On other women. Go ahead.
Special favor. Privileged. Merciful.
All right, that's it. Let's go back to the book. The grace of a wife delight her husband.
And her discretion, his bones.
Will fatten his bones. You know what discretion is? You know what discretion is, man? It means to be discreet. And when you are discreet, do you say any and anything?
Oh, no.
Do you do any and anything?
No.
Do you act any old way?
No.
When you say any and anything, act any old way, move how you move, behave how you want to behave, you don't have no discretion. You are not a woman of virtue. You're not. You got to be discreet. Woman of virtue is discreet, which means you're going to watch your words. Yeah. You're going to watch what you say. Yeah. You're going to watch what you do. You're going to watch how you move. You're going to watch how you act. You're not a woman of virtue. Read.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
A silent
and loving woman.
Or a loud woman.
A silent.
A silent Or a woman that always talking and running her mouth.
A silent and loving woman.
Or silent that go back and forth.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
You're not a woman of virtue. Tom C.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
You know what a mind well instructed is?
Yeah.
A mind well instructed.
Yeah.
A mind that is well trained in the laws, in the commandments, in the ways of God. That's a mind well instructed. So on a mind well instructed, this woman is following after the ways and the customs of Mother Sarah. She's following after the ways and customs of Rebecca. She's following after the ways and customs of Raquel and Leah and all these godly women.
Not Fatima.
Not Fatima. Not Keisha.
Not Kiki.
Not Kiki. Not these nigger broads that's out here.
Canaanites.
That's right.
Not these heathenistic Americanized women.
That's right.
Tom C.
A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace.
A shamefaced and what?
Faithful woman.
And a faithful woman
is a double grace.
That's
double grace.
That's a double grace.
You know what a shamefaced is?
I never heard that.
You know what a shamefaced woman is? She don't do nothing that brings shame upon herself. She won't embarrass herself. You don't put yourself in the position to embarrass. When you see that the lion is being ticked, you got to stop putting ticks. Because the lion is getting ticked. So your job is to untick the lion. Don't keep pressing the button because you keep ticking and throwing ticks. And when you throw ticks on the lion, he's getting bit at the same time. So you got to watch your words and watch the things that you do with this bear.
That's correct.
People have a tendency to get you aroused and then ask you why you like that.
You got me like this.
Hey, why are you acting like this?
You don't understand? Let's rewind.
What do you mean why I'm acting like this? Let's read.
Mental disability.
A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued.
Cannot be valued. There's no look. Go ahead.
As the sun, when it arises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
In the ordering of her house. Huh? What is the ordering of her house? When she orders her house according to the laws and the commandments of God. Okay, go ahead.
As the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. As the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with the constant heart. My son, keep the flower of thine age sound.
Keep the flowers of your age sound. You see what he's telling? You see what he's telling the man, little young whippersnapper? Don't go out there and wasting your strength. Anytime a man ejaculates, he releases strength. He releases protein. He releases the DNA. Look,
everything about
science. What my father said, when a man ejaculates, it's like a whole football game. Everything from this man's body is in that semen.
It's composite. That's right.
Everything is in that.
Yeah, our strength.
Your strength is in that.
Everything.
Tom C.
My son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers.
Give not your strength to strangers. Stop sleeping around with women that don't want nothing to do with your God.
That's right. That's right.
She don't want nothing to do with your God.
Okay.
You don't want nothing to do with her.
That's right.
And it comes a point in time in life where you have to make your mind up on what type of life you want to continue to live. You can't make me stop being promiscuous. That is a decision that a man have to come up with. Himself. If he's going to be promiscuous, believe me, he's going to go out there and be promiscuous. But I have decided not to be promiscuous because I made my mind up to serve God. So I don't want Lucille, this one, that one, that one. All I need is this godly woman that's going to serve God and I'm happy. But you know what happened when a man start looking elsewhere? When you continue to piss him off. When you continue to make me angry. Make me angry. Make me angry. Constant anger. Now I'm going to be looking elsewhere where I'm not going to get so angry. Looking for that comfort where I don't get aggravated. Go ahead.
When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed.
Woo! When you have gotten a fruitful possession, he said, sow it with your own seed. Sow it with my own seed, not with strange seed, because you don't know what's going to come up with that. Which means, if you desire a godly child, why do I go and put my seed into an ungodly possession? Ungodly vessel. Why do I go and look for Christian women talking about I'm trying to do? That's what we all did. I did it too. I like a woman, disregarding the house she is, what God she served. I chose this woman because of her looks. And then after a while, I tried to change her. But it wasn't in her to serve God. Then I go and have kids with her.
There you go.
And then after I done had kids with her, she done took my kids and taught them idols.
Yeah.
Taught them the worship of idols and deities.
Yeah.
But just know that they will always be my kids. And the love that a parent have, that a father have for his child, it never changes.
Unquestionable.
And don't ever think if a man want a woman, he have to accept what comes with her.
That's correct.
I said if a man want a woman, he has to accept what comes with her. So what makes you think about a woman? You want me, then you got to accept mine. I'm not going to treat yours no way.
Can't do that to me.
And I'm not going to treat your kids no type of way. I will be a father figure to your children, and I will treat your children with love. Why? Because I love the mother.
Right.
So the same thing with the woman. If you love the man, you will accept his kids, and you will be a mother to these kids.
You're right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's your only job. I'm not worried, and you should not be worried about nothing else.
You got to worry about that.
You ain't got nothing to worry about.
That's my job.
That's my job to worry about it. It's my job to worry about that. Not you.
I got that covered.
I got that covered. It's my job to worry about that. Stop worrying about things that you ain't got. When you have kids of your own, then that's when you can start worrying about that. And whatever the hell you want to worry about. Let's read.
When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, Sow it with thine own seed.
Sow it with your own seed. Trusting in the goodness of your stock. Let's read.
So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified.
So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified. Read.
Having the confidence of their good descent.
That's right. Tamshi.
An harlot shall be accounted as spittle. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
No, it ain't. Not today. Hey. I said not today. A married woman is not a tower against death. A married woman runs me into the grave more quicker
than a harlot.
You know why? Because you become contradictory. You contradict. And you go against.
You're counterproductive.
You go against. The husband say A.
B, C, D.
Well, I don't agree with you. It's B, C, E. But the husband keeps saying A. Well, you know what, husband? I don't agree with you, but I have to agree. God said nothing more beautiful than a wife that agree with her husband.
Nothing is more beautiful.
Nothing more beautiful than that.
Nothing.
Ain't nothing more beautiful than that.
That is a beautiful thing.
Because when you don't agree, then that's where the friction comes in at.
It's ugly.
It gets ugly. Let's read.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. A dishonest woman contempted shame.
Let's learn what dishonest means. One of the definitions of dishonest, it means shameful. One of the definition of shameful means indecent. Indecent means grossly unseemly, offensive in your manners and morals.
I like how you act.
That goes according to how you act. That goes according to your behavior. You think a dishonest person just has to deal with lies? It goes according to your morals and your behavior and how you act. Tamshi.
But an honest woman will reverence her husband.
An honest woman will reverence her husband. An honest woman will respect her husband. So if you don't respect and reverence your husband, you're not honest. Tamshi.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
That's why
pride,
you dishonor your husband. He said, you the most ungodliest woman of all. Because you done dishonored your husband. And the reason why you dishonored your husband is because of pride. I said the book even shows you where pride lies at. Go ahead, read.
A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemy.
You know what a loud crying woman is? You're looking at her like,
she says it's gonna drive away the enemies.
You said you put that loud crying woman in front of the army, and that cry will drive the enemy away.
Yo, I like that metaphor right there. I like that.
Tamshi.
There'll be two things that grieve my heart.
There'll be two things that grieve my heart.
The third making me angry.
The third one makes me angry.
A man of war that suffereth poverty.
How are you a man of war that suffered poverty?
You're not a man of war.
Because you're not a man of war. A man of war, when they take spoils. So there's no way you should be poor. Tamshi.
And men of understanding that are not set by.
Men of understanding that don't live accordingly. You ain't set by Go ahead.
And one that returneth from righteousness to sin.
The one that returned it from righteousness to sin.
The Lord prepareth such as one for the sword. A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong.
A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong. He always got some tricks.
Trying to get over.
That. Go ahead.
And a huckster shall not be free from sin.
A huckster changes his prices. That's what a huckster is.
That's what's happening now.
Huh? And that's what happening now. They change their prices, but stop buying it. They'll put it right back.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop buying it, they'll see, oh, well, listen here.
It's true.
The prices of this here, it's not good because it ain't selling. You know what? Let's put it back. Let's put it back.
Put a sale on it.
Put a sale on it to get it back. And with that, I hope everybody has gotten what was bought.
Definitely.
And I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and God.
Does anybody have any questions? If you don't have any questions, we will continue these teachings tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock. With that, I already got what was bought, and I would say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and God. Thank you, brother. You found a piece of me. I was looking for this. This is a good guide for a woman of today. Yeah. This